So here we are. Where are
Hennacy House, the Los Angeles Catholic Worker Community House.
Oh, great.
And we're in Boyle Heights.
Okay. And how old is this beautiful house?
It's 125 years old.
Wow. Okay, so what we're here doing today is we're looking at a few people or several people that have been laid to rest here on these beautiful grounds. And so many we haven't mapped. So where are we?
So, do you see the statue of Mary?
The statue of Mary. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, that was given to us for the garden downtown, but we already had one. We have Guadalupe downtown. And so then this just tells me, in case I forget, what each marker identifies the location of the ashes of some of the people who have lived with us and died here. A couple of them are memory stones. We do not have the ashes because the family has claimed them and buried them themselves. And then a couple of them are the ashes of parents of community members who have lived here. And they laid their parents' ashes to rest here.
I love this little area. You got a little chair where you can come and just reflect, huh? What a beautiful area. All right, so who do we have first?
Well, if we start in the front, this is one of my darlings. This beautiful.
Oh, well, let me get this straight. So each one of these represents someone?
The ashes of someone are buried beneath these stones.
Oh, okay. Let me get a better shot of them. All right, who are we starting with?
I'm starting with the hummingbird, and that's Milvio. He's a Cuban who lived downtown. He was known as Ponytail downtown. He had the virus, and when he came to live with us, he did better keeping up with his meds, and he was doing quite well living with us. Well, one night he didn't come home, and the next day, as soon as I got to the kitchen, someone came and said Ponytail got killed. Turns out that he owed someone $6, and he didn't have the $6 to pay, and he got stabbed. Well, I went over to the hospital, and by his real name, he was not on the patient list. So I knew this social worker, and I went to her office, and I told her the story that Milvio lived with us, and that he didn't come home, and I was told that he had been killed. She thought for a minute, and then she said, well, come with me, I think I can help you. So she took me to one of the critical care units and spoke to the doctor and took me over to this bed. Well, his face was so distorted, not by the stabbing, but by the bloating that his body was going through, that I had to lift his head and see if he had a ponytail to be sure that it was and it was.
Wow.
So I had power of attorney, and the doctor came and talked to me, and he said, there is no chance of recovery. And so I gave them permission to take him off the machines. And he died, and we had him cremated, and his remains are here. He was from Cuba. He had no one in this country from his family, and so we have never spoken to anyone related to him. So he's to rest right here.
Well, he found a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's nice.
My goodness.
This flower is looking kind of sad today. He's usually up and catching the wind. What's the matter, Flower? You sad today? And little view, right up close with the little white pebble stones. That is
Right in front, right here?
in front of Marion.
Oh.
That is Aunt Olga.
Aunt Olga.
We never met her, but a community member, Lisa Billick, was the only relative living of Aunt Olga's. And so when she received the ashes, Aunt Olga was 101 when she died. And so she asked, could she bury Aunt Olga here? So that's who's...
Aunt Olga.
Uh-huh. And her last
Beautiful.
name is F-E-I-N, Fein. Now, I don't know if you knew, he made frangs, bracelets he made and sold them. Does that ring a bell with you?
Not offhand.
No. Well, Frank Parker was a friend of the community's, and he got very sick. He had cancer. And he came, and he lived here his last days. But we were able to contact his family, and his family came out when he died and took his ashes home. But because he was a friend of ours, we placed a memory stone, the calla lilies.
Beautiful. Okay.
Feliz Aparicio. Someone put that, not that attractive can on his beautiful butterflies. Move it.
Wow.
There. That is Felicio Aparicio's stone. And Felicio lived with us for a long time, and he was a painter, and he used to go out, you know him from the kitchen, you know? And he would go out from like a paint store and go out and paint. And you know, I'm sure you know that story, that people are very bad about paying people. And sometimes he would work from sunup to sundown and not be paid for his work. So he didn't have much money, and he was living on the streets. So he came home and lived with us, still went out and painted, and worked around the house. He got very sick, and
what is this over here?
that's a
Yeah, what
call
is that?
it's geode, a
Huh?
giant geode.
Oh, geode.
Uh-huh.
How unique.
And someone gave it to us, and it is, to me, it's reflective of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Ah.
So we put it in the memory garden. It's kind of the same shape.
That's what this is named, the Memory Garden.
Yeah, the memory garden. And then the saint there actually belongs over there, and we used to do the vegetable garden. Tony does it now. Tony lives there.
Oh, over here.
Yeah, and when he took over doing the vegetable garden, he moved the saint over here, but it's actually the patron saint of farmers. And so he doesn't really belong here; he belongs there. But that's all right. The saints are all friends. This is a stone that took a new look altogether. When I first got it, it was brown, and
The one that looks green too?
yeah, the one that looks green, brown and glossy looking. But I guess it wasn't an outdoor stone because it took on a different appearance. And that is Ed Birmingham, and we actually have artwork of his on the walls in the house. He was a very eccentric man, and he had stayed at many Catholic workers. And there, see, now it's going.
I just got a great picture of it. He has stayed in many of them.
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that a bit unique?
Well,
I
he
mean,
was
they're all
a
over.
bit unique.
Oh, okay.
And so anyway, he got very sick, and he died of cancer.
Oh.
And this is amusing. It's not funny, but it is amusing. And so he had to go to the hospital, and we'd go to the hospital and visit him. And we noticed that there were gowns and gloves and masks and all this stuff outside his room, but we never did ever put them on. And so David got pneumonia. And I thought, boy, was I lucky, because I didn't get pneumonia. And I was going on vacation. I thought, boy, that would have been a drag. I was going up to see my family. And I got to Oregon, and I was fine the first day, but then I just went, yeah. And I ended up in the hospital up in Oregon. I, too, got pneumonia. I didn't know you could catch pneumonia, Thought you got it on your own.
That is really interesting. So you had all these people that had like HIV and nothing.
Well, that's very specific contraction.
Oh.
Using the same needles or exchange of body fluids, that kind of stuff.
All right, so.
Okay. So these two, the goldfish and the quail, they're both marking the ashes of fathers of people in the community.
Ah.
They wanted to.
So they asked to be buried here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great place.
And there was a man downtown. His name was Al, but we called him Crooked Neck Al because he was like this. So, not to his face, but we called him Crooked Neck Al to distinguish him from the other owls.
All the other owls.
And those calla lilies there mark his grave. Now,
Crooked Neck Owl.
Crooked Neck Owl. Now, we had Manuel, the folk artist, living with us when he made that stone, the flowers.
Oh,
Manuel
these here?
made that stone. Isn't it lovely? He made two stones. He made one for, oh dear, I better look it up. Richard Pretty. And he made one over here for Clarence, our darling Clarence. Over there, I guess we didn't have much money at the time, and I just bought a rocky garden stone, just past the blue one.
Oh, I do see it.
And he lived next door in the hotel.
Next door to the Hippie Kitchen?
Hippie Kitchen. And so we knew him, and we knew he had the virus, and then he got really sick. And so we brought him home with us, and he died here. And
what does that mean when they get really sick? That means they gotta they can't
like
move or
bedridden. Bedbound. They can't really do anything for themselves.
I mean, the symptoms for that virus are what? Weakness? Inability to...
You can name practically anything as a symptom.
As a constant breakdown.
Yeah. Porter Cummings. Yeah, there he is.
All of these names?
Yeah, you took a picture of this.
Wow, I'm just... All right.
But see, this is my diagram, and this is my...
This is a beautiful
how
thing.
these people died. And now let me show you. Oh, well, these two people died last year. This butterfly.
Where?
Right here.
Died last year?
That's
What's their name?
That's from Michael Cooksey. He was called Cooksey downtown. And it's pretty interesting about Michael Cooksey. He was a very successful, very intelligent man And I don't know what threw him over the edge into the drug scene, but he was a engineer at a jet propulsion lab.
So drugs do not discriminate, huh?
No, drugs do not discriminate. So he lived here twice. He had throat cancer,
Ooh.
and he came and recuperated from the treatment, and then went on about his business. And then we saw him back in the garden, and he didn't look too good, and he had a tumor in here. And by the time he died, the tumor had grown out and in.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was pretty fierce. And so we have, in addition to the people living and dying with us, we do have memorials and or funerals for them here at the house. So his relatives came, his kids, his wife and his mother, and different relatives came for his
What was his
funeral.
name again?
Michael Cooksey.
Oh. And here he lays.
Yeah.
I like these stones and monuments and different unique
Yeah.
remembrances.
Now this is a really sad story. This isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm.
No one liked these. I bought them at where's it called? Armstrong in South Pasadena.
Yeah.
I was looking for stones, and I couldn't find anything I really liked. And then I turned around, and there was a sale. And these beautiful stones only cost $1.50 because they were clearance sale. Isn't that amazing that people didn't like them? And same day,
Fortunate for you.
yeah. And that one up there, the yellowish one, I bought them all.
Is there somebody under there?
No, that's a memory stone.
Oh.
That's Freddie Greer. He died just this year.
A memory stone. How
Uh-huh.
thoughtful.
And well, the story about Rogelio is that he worked in the garden here, and as does Rudy, and as did Alberto. Anyway, he was cleaning spider webs off the porch cover and back off the kitchen.
Cleaning spider webs, yeah.
with a broom like this, and looking up, and got too close to the first step, and fell down the stairs, and fell into the stairwell, which was concrete. And so we quickly called the paramedics, which just have to come from the corner, and
Was that fire station 2, was it?
yeah,
Yeah.
they've been here a lot. So they said, keep him still. So I was practically kneeling on him because he had hit his head, and his head was bleeding in one place. And so then they took him over to the hospital. And then after a couple of days, they asked us to come over. And I, again, had power of attorney. And we met with the doctor and the nurse on his case. And they described the seriousness of his illness. And they said, what would Rogelio want? And I said, well, he would not want to linger. And she said, would he want to be on the machines? And I said, he would not want to be on the machines. And she said, do you feel like you can speak for him? And I said, yes, I feel like I can speak for him. So she said, okay, you all wait here. And I called the house and had any of the community that were around come over. And after a while, we were brought into his cubicle, again in intensive care. and we stood around the bed, and they took him off the machines. And so you're watching this not very regular line go flat. And she stood there with us, and she patted us, and she got little Kleenex boxes. This is County Hospital. I've always been impressed by her. And so someone, and the walls were all glass, and so someone saw us in there and headed for us, and she circled the bed, she backed the woman off, and came back in, and she said, "You can stay as long as you want." And so more people were coming over, and when we were all finally, everyone we knew that was going to come came, we prayed around his bed, and we left. And because if you have power of attorney, then you can have someone cremated. But there are a number of people who died with us who aren't buried here because we weren't quick enough, I guess, to get the power of attorney, and then you cannot cremate. So we have people buried in some of the cemeteries around here. But this is the
So the end of this was, so he had a mishap while working here in the
Right.
garden,
and
he's buried here in the
in
garden.
the garden, right?
Wow, what's his name again?
Rogelio.
Rogelio.
So anyway, here is Jim Rodell.
Jim Rodell.
And he always amazed us down at the kitchen. He used to wash dishes for us. And he had a duffel bag, and that's it. He had everything he thought he needed in that duffel bag. A change of clothes, his toiletries, and that was it. He didn't need a shopping cart, because he carried with him everything that he knew he needed.
Did he live here also?
And then he lived here. Well, the first person to remains that we planted, that we placed in the ground here, was Eddie O'Brien. And Eddie was totally a wonderful character, an old Southern miner. And we hung that there, but he's buried on the other side of the tree.
Oh, okay.
And he's been here since 93. And look at the tree grew. The tree grew right around it. Around
Oh, really?
Francis,
So it's
yeah.
part of the
It's
tree now?
Yeah.
How nice. It's part of the tree. Ah, that's a great tree. I hadn't even looked up.
Oh, well, this tree is a great tree. It was a 5-foot Christmas tree the first year we lived here.
Really? This tree?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's
5-foot
taller than the
Christmas
house.
tree. Wow, that is amazing.
Right around on the other side is
Oh, right here.
Eddie's burial place. Yeah.
How nice. Can we call this a garden, memory garden?
Memory garden.
This is so thoughtful. So